In this forecast, we're going to be breaking down another massive pattern change coming to the United States on top of a massive severe weather threat coming with that pattern change, as well as some of the tropics beginning to heat up. So let's get right into it. So I do want to start off with the temperature plot here of the map. This is this is what a lot of the United States have been seeing recently. Much cooler temperatures here on the eastern United States and much hotter here towards the mid upper tier down into the southern United States. And this is going to change over a period of time. What's going to happen is all this heat that we've been seeing here will shift over to the east. And the reason from that shift will be because of these some storms that will kind of swing through and will bring some severe weather down here in the midwestern regions of the United States, which ultimately will shove this heat all the way to the eastern part of the United States, which has been experiencing fall like weather for the last couple of days here. And if we do know on the weather map here, we can see a cold front right here developed. And that's going to be that severe weather potential with these storms that will shift all this heat more off to the east as this cold front will sweep across the nation, bringing much cooler temperatures into the Midwest, and then eventually some even more cooler temperatures to the northeast as it sweeps across from the northern tier of the United States. After this one sweeps across the United States, we could have potentially have another much bigger one extending right here. And you notice, we have all this heat now that has shifted a little bit further over here now to the east, down further into the Ohio Valley, where temperatures the last couple of days has been very comfortable the last couple of days. However, as we advance, you can see this very sharp cold front line right here, and this would indicate possibly some massive severe weather potentials, or at least a severe weather outbreak or two. However, this is still very far off. However, it's still not out of the question just yet. It's not out of the question just yet, and this will also ask the question: how active will the first week of September be? And will there be anything major in the first couple weeks of September? That is looking to be pretty sort of true, as we will still have reoccurring storms throughout the Midwest, bringing some potential severe weather throughout the Midwest as we end off August, heading into around September 1st to the 5th, which is a little uncommon for this year. Usually, I feel like we'd see more hurricanes, which we may still be seeing. However, the severe weather term will ramp up significantly over the United States. Let's take a look at the potential future cast now of the radar here. So here we go. You can see this is the 23rd of August. This is in 2 days. Extremely quiet all across the United States. Nothing much is going on relatively anywhere. But you'll notice as we come around the 25th to 26th, we could see something try to form here off this low pressure system way up there in Canada. However, the primary threat will come from another system right over here. It'll come from this. This will be that system that will spark kind of an ignition. It'll meet, and then you can kind of see things that just explode all across. We have things popping off down over here. We have some general showers and storms down in the southern tier, and just some strong rain happening back in towards Arizona and New Mexico. However, these storms will blow up, pretty rapidly as this low pressure system meets up with warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, which will bring that Midwest severe weather potential right in this corridor, I'd say. As we have that cold air rushing in from Canada and the warm, moist air pulling up in to where that low pressure system is moving off to, and right in around the Iowa area, there could be something in the future that could be relatively significant than what we've seen the last couple of days, and then again, another possible even like low pressure clipper system could bring some more severe weather to that area, which ultimately would push that heat now to the east. However, as it pushes it to the east, there will still be some general showers and storms to the East Coast around this time before some high pressure begins to slide back in. However, after September 5th, we don't really know what's going to happen from there on. It could realistically be anything from there. Now, here's the jet stream here. So this is how this is what the upper level winds look like. So how we can detect these storms here. And we've had this bubbling high pressure system right here, kind of diverting every storm away from the United States, bringing any major impacts. And that's going to change, right? So we have this system right here will begin to pivot off to the north because we'll have this here in place. But we'll notice about the storm as it pivots off over here, it becomes tilted, in which when storms become tilted, they usually bring a tornadic risk, and there could be some tornadic risk over here in the North Dakotas as this thing travels up into Canada. However, that shouldn't happen. What will happen, unfortunately, is it'll get caught right here. You can see it kind of it'll slow up a little bit, and as that happens, it'll kind of stall out a little bit, which will bring that severe weather potential all across the Midwestern regions, and which realistically, anywhere from realistically in this area right here, there could be some storms or a possible severe weather outbreak or two as it slows up, and then we have this next system right here, which would be the big system. The system I showed you before would be like a kind of a smaller, kind of precursor type system. This one would have a chance, right? It has a chance to. You say it's a tilted trough moving into the United States. However, there will be some pressure right here, kind of built up, kind of deferring this, and you'll notice that here as I run this ahead. You see, it doesn't drop in. It stays on it on a line here. It's almost like on an imaginary borderline, and it kind of breaks off. But as that breaks off, we have just we got inflow. We could have a low pressure system off the Rocky Mountains spin off from that, which would bring another potential severe weather outbreak to the Midwest down into the southern tier of the United States, which again is not totally uncommon for this time of year. Now, I do want to notice one thing right here. Right here, you can kind of see some spin right here. This could be a possible hurricane in the near future begin to develop and move up towards the United States. If this happens, I will of course give a full in-depth breakdown and let you know the impacts of where this could happen. However, right now it doesn't seem to be too likely, or at least it doesn't seem to be too favorable given what the circumstances are going to be. However, I do think September will be an active month of severe weather here, and the temperature plot is finally it will be an active month. So to kind of sum it up, it will be a very active month here. So we're gonna show it. I'm gonna show a temperature plot here. So we've had this bubbling heat, realistically all the way up into Canada, extending back down to Texas, back into portions of Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, all that. We know that. We know that good and well. But you'll notice as it runs ahead, you can kind of see we'll have those storm systems push in and kind of shove it out the way. Forcefully kind of move that high pressure out of the way, which ultimately will fling this hotter temperatures right back to the east, which has been in a very cooler time period. You can see right here, for instance, some of the more extreme heat has lifted from the further south and been brought up a little bit further north. And this is likely going to be the trend, and eventually it'll return back, but eventually it'll go all the way over here. You can see the Ohio Valley Northeast is well above average, while the Midwest in the future will be well below average, which will be a nice cool down for the people that have been experiencing the heat over the last couple of days. And that heat for the eastern part of the United States will stay, and everything will begin to bounce back out. Everything will be slowly begin to bounce back out before we have another possible cold front right here sweep in to basically across the entire eastern side of the United States and bring much cooler temperatures while the Rockies heat up for for the beginning of September. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I will see everybody in the next forecast.